Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you hold within. The world around you is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Every event, every person, every opportunity that comes your way is a mirror of your internal state. If you constantly expect struggle, hardship, or rejection, life will show you evidence of exactly that. But if you assume success, fulfillment, and abundance as your reality, the world will shift to reflect that belief. Many people believe that circumstances control their lives, that external conditions dictate their happiness, wealth, and opportunities. But the truth is, external conditions are only an expression of what has already been accepted within. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, your life will be filled with struggle. If you plant seeds of confidence, self-worth, and expectation of good things, your life will bloom with opportunities and success. Your subconscious mind is always at work, shaping your reality based on the assumptions you hold. It does not question whether something is true or false. It simply accepts whatever you persistently believe. If you assume you are not worthy of love, relationships will reflect that belief. If you assume money is hard to come by, financial struggles will continue to manifest. But the moment you shift your assumptions and accept a new reality internally, everything outside of you must adjust to match it. This is why focusing on yourself, rather than external circumstances, is the key to transformation. People often chase results, trying to force success, love, or happiness from the outside in. They try to fix their relationships without fixing their self-belief. They try to earn more money without changing their belief about wealth. They try to be loved while feeling unworthy of love. But the true shift happens internally first. When you become the person who naturally attracts success, the success will come. When you see yourself as someone who is deeply loved and valued, love will appear in your life effortlessly. Doubt and fear will always try to creep in, especially when you begin shifting your mindset. The old beliefs will fight to stay, showing you temporary challenges that make it seem like nothing is changing. But persistence is the key. The longer you hold on to a new assumption, the more your outer world will begin to reflect it. The people, events, and circumstances in your life will start to align with the version of yourself you have claimed internally. Nothing happens overnight, but everything happens in divine timing. If you truly want to transform your life, shift your focus inward. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself, the emotions you nurture, and the expectations you hold. Your life is not shaped by luck, fate, or outside forces. It is shaped by the unseen reality you hold within. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned to seek approval. As children, we learn that praise means we are doing something right and disapproval means we are doing something wrong. This conditioning follows us into adulthood, where we begin to shape our actions, decisions, and even our identities based on how others perceive us. The need for validation becomes so deeply ingrained that many people live their entire lives trying to be accepted, liked, or approved by others. But in doing so, they lose sight of who they truly are. They become trapped in a cycle of external approval, never realizing that true freedom comes from within. The problem with seeking validation is that it places your sense of worth in the hands of others. It makes you dependent on their opinions, their praise, and their recognition. When people approve of you, you feel good. When they disapprove, you feel unworthy. This is a dangerous game because external validation is never stable. People's opinions change, their moods shift, and their judgments are often based on their own insecurities. If your confidence is built on the foundation of others' approval, it will always be fragile. The moment validation is taken away, self-doubt creeps in, and you are left questioning your value. Relying on validation also keeps you from taking risks and pursuing your true desires. You hesitate to step outside the box because you fear judgment. You avoid expressing your real thoughts because you worry about criticism. You suppress your ambitions because they might not be understood or accepted. The need to be liked becomes a cage, limiting your growth and potential. Many people spend their entire lives making safe choices, never truly living, all because they are too afraid of what others might say. They trade authenticity for acceptance, only to realize too late that the approval they chased was never worth the price of their freedom. The truth is, no one else's opinion matters more than your own. The moment you stop seeking validation, you reclaim your power. You no longer need permission to be yourself. You no longer wait for someone to tell you that you are good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. You simply decide that you are. And when you make that decision, something incredible happens. Your energy changes, your confidence rises, and people begin to respect you in ways they never did before. Ironically, the moment you stop needing approval is the moment you start receiving it, not because you seek it, but because self-assuredness is magnetic. Seeking validation also blinds you to your own inner guidance. When you constantly look to others for confirmation, you ignore the wisdom within you. You second-guess your instincts, question your own desires, and allow other people's perspectives to dictate your path. But no one else can walk your journey for you. No one else knows what truly fulfills you, what sets your soul on fire, or what you are destined to become. The answers you seek are not found in the approval of others, but in the quiet certainty within yourself. The moment you trust that voice, you free yourself from the exhausting need to be understood or accepted. Breaking free from the need for validation does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop allowing their opinions to define your worth. It means you step into your own power, own your decisions, and embrace who you are unapologetically. There is nothing more liberating than knowing you do not need approval to be whole. You do not need validation to be worthy. You do not need permission to be great. Every great achievement begins with a vision, an idea that exists in the unseen before it manifests in the physical world. But the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not talent, luck, or circumstance. It is persistence. Vision alone is not enough. Many people dream, many people set goals, but few have the unwavering commitment to persist when nothing seems to be happening. The moment you decide that your vision is non-negotiable, that you will hold on to it despite the delays, obstacles, and doubts, you set in motion an unstoppable force that bends reality to match your belief. There will always be moments when the external world contradicts your inner vision. You will look around and see no evidence of progress. You will hear voices of doubt, both from within yourself and from others, telling you that it's not possible, that you should be more realistic, that you should lower your expectations. This is where most people give up. They let their present circumstances convince them that their vision was just a fantasy. But those who persist understand a deeper truth. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid, and it bends to the assumptions you refuse to let go of. The unseen is just as real as the seen, and when you persist in holding your vision as truth, it must eventually materialize. Persistence is not just about effort. It is about mental discipline. It is the ability to stay committed to your vision even when emotions fluctuate, even when fear whispers that you are wasting your time. Most people operate based on what they can see, but those who persist operate based on what they know. They see beyond temporary appearances. They understand that just because something hasn't shown up yet does not mean it isn't coming. They do not allow circumstances to dictate their belief. They dictate their circumstances by holding their belief. The world will test you. It will throw challenges in your path, not to break you, but to see if you are truly serious about what you say you want. The moment you declare your vision, life will give you opportunities to prove your commitment. It may come in the form of setbacks, rejection, or delays. Most will take these as signs to stop, but those who persist recognize them as stepping stones. They refuse to be discouraged by temporary resistance, because they know that persistence is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. There is power in assumption, and when you assume that your vision is already yours, you begin to move differently. Your actions align with your belief. Your energy shifts. People and opportunities begin to appear in ways that defy logic. But this only happens if you persist long enough to see it through. Too many people quit right before the breakthrough, never realizing how close they were. They plant the seed, but because they do not see instant results, they dig it up and walk away, not knowing that growth was happening beneath the surface. Doubt will always try to creep in, but it has no power unless you feed it. The only thing that matters is that you remain loyal to your vision, no matter what. It is easy to believe when things are going well, but the real test is whether you can hold on to your belief when there is no visible proof. When you can stand firm in the unseen, when you can persist despite every reason to quit, that is when the shift happens. That is when the vision you once held in your mind becomes the reality you live in. The world is filled with distractions, constantly pulling your attention away from what truly matters. Everywhere you turn, there are endless sources of noise. Social media, opinions, negativity, doubts, and meaningless comparisons. These distractions are designed to keep you busy, to keep your mind occupied with everything except your own growth and purpose. And if you are not careful, they will consume your energy, drain your focus, and leave you wondering why your life is not moving in the direction you desire. The truth is, distractions are nothing more than obstacles disguised as entertainment, urgency, or even responsibility. And the moment you learn to ignore them, you reclaim control over your life. Most people never reach their full potential because they allow distractions to dictate their time, their thoughts, and their emotions. They scroll endlessly, engage in meaningless debates, worry about what others are doing, and waste their energy on things that do not serve them. They let the opinions of others shape their decisions, reacting to every comment, every criticism, and every trend that comes their way. But the most successful, fulfilled individuals operate differently. They have learned that their energy is their greatest asset, and they refuse to waste it on things that do not contribute to their vision. Distractions often come disguised as things that seem important in the moment. A notification pops up, and suddenly what was meant to be 5 minutes turns into an hour. Someone makes a negative remark, and now your whole day is affected. You start comparing your progress to someone else's, and before you know it, self-doubt creeps in. Every small distraction chips away at your focus, making it harder to stay committed to your path. And the danger is not just in losing time, it is in losing momentum. Success is built on consistency, and every time you allow distractions to interrupt your flow, you slow down your progress. One of the biggest distractions in life is the need for external validation. The constant desire to be liked, to be noticed, to be approved of by others is one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into. When you live for the opinions of others, you become a slave to their expectations rather than the master of your own destiny. You start making decisions based on what will impress people rather than what truly fulfills you. But the moment you stop seeking approval, the distractions lose their power. You no longer waste time worrying about who supports you, who doubts you, or who is watching you. You simply stay focused on your own path. Another major distraction is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping outside your comfort zone. Fear is designed to keep you stuck, making you believe that taking action is risky, that pursuing your dreams is too difficult, that change is too uncomfortable. But fear itself is an illusion, and the only way it controls you is if you give it attention. The people who achieve great things in life are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who refuse to let it distract them. They acknowledge it but do not obey it. They feel it but do not allow it to dictate their actions. The world is full of noise, and if you are not careful, you will find yourself reacting to everything around you instead of focusing on what is within you. There will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your goals. There will always be people who try to discourage you, temptations that try to slow you down, and situations that try to test your patience. But you must train yourself to ignore what does not serve your growth. Every second you waste on things that do not matter is a second taken away from your vision. And those seconds add up. Before you know it, days, weeks, and even years have passed, and you are no closer to where you want to be. When you learn to ignore distractions, you take back your power. You begin to move differently. Your mind becomes clear, your focus sharpens, and your energy shifts. You stop reacting to every little thing and start choosing where your attention goes. You no longer waste time explaining yourself, defending your choices, or engaging in meaningless conversations. You become so locked in on your vision that nothing can shake you. And that is when everything begins to change. Ignoring distractions is not about shutting yourself off from the world. It is about choosing what deserves your energy. It is about deciding that your goals, your peace, and your growth are more important than anything trying to pull you away from them. It is about understanding that every distraction you overcome brings you one step closer to the life you are meant to live.